Everyone hates limits. Money, time, options. But the more I pay attention to my life, the more I realize limits actually make things better. When I finished the audiobook of Project Hail Mary, I realized that the story worked so well because the reader's limited to what Ryland Grace knows. That's all I'm going to say without spoiling it. I've also realized that limits in other areas are actually good for us. Now, I'm all for having options, which is why I'm glad delivery services like DoorDash exist. I think their excessive focus on speed is detrimental to the drivers and everyone around them. But at the end of the day, I'm glad it's an option for someone who literally cannot do it for themselves. The problem is choosing it when you either don't have the money or are capable of picking it up yourself and not limiting yourself to something made at home, even a TV dinner, or saving such food for when you're out and about, whether you eat it there or bring it home. In this case, limits help you spend less unnecessarily and maybe not overeat. That's how I generally operate, and I'm striving to do better with avoiding overeating with the big store brand frozen pizza. I'm far from perfect, but I'm starting there and keeping myself in check by making sure I leave the house 7 days a week. Because if I think, I'll stay home all day, I wind up getting that one big pizza, which only covers one meal, when I could spend less on a 3 pack of personal sized ones. If I want something more exciting, like Sal's when I'm in Boston, or a couple of places in my town, I go there when I'm out and about, get enough for one person, and go from there. Limits on that front keep my calorie intake in check, especially when I save calorie dense options for when I'm walking more. Limiting myself to more reasonable intakes when I'm just at home, making these videos, my Instagram reels, or playing video games really help. In storytelling, limits can do wonders. If you're limited to the protagonist's perspective, like Project Hail Mary with Ryland Grace, you're more firmly in their shoes. Sure, dramatic irony can be great, but knowing only what Ryland Grace knew was part of what I liked about that audiobook, and I hope the movie doesn't deviate from that. Limits also inspire creative thinking, like when I had to figure out how to get the fire chip in Metroid Prime 4 after numerous trial and error attempts with what gear I had at that point. I didn't cheat with the internet this time, like I did for finding Rayquaza in Legends ZA, and working with the limits made it more fulfilling and reminded me why I enjoy gaming. It's the same thing with a limited budget. Yes, you sometimes need more money at a certain point, but being limited to a certain budget will make you think creatively and incentivize staying on task. If you only have the budget for one streaming service subscription, you'll be limited to what's on there. It's good because you're getting your money's worth and not wasting time tracking every little use of it and making sure you use all of them, which just becomes a time suck. I'm all for variety, which is why I'm a member at the New England Aquarium, Museum of Science, and Museum of Fine Arts. But if I went beyond those to be a member at every single museum or the zoo, I'd be spending way too much money and having to rotate too often. Lately, I've been simplifying and reducing costs by going to just the aquarium on my Saturday trip before the movie, which I've lately been concentrating into walking distance from South Station. I've been forced to get creative because being cut to 2 days at the instant gratification job has lowered my income. I was able to eliminate subway fare because I can easily walk to the aquarium or AMC from South Station and back from either spot for the train home. I've also cut costs by using the little library as my Sunday escape from my mom's cleaning frenzy, rather than go back to Boston for the membership spots. I wrote this very video transcript there after eating breakfast at home to save even more money. Thanks to my more limited budget, I'm now forcing myself to actually do something productive. I'm also staying prepared to pick up a shift that begins and ends within my availability, work it, and have more money for when I need it. Or there's something I really want to do. Because, like I said at the start, options are good to have. The best kind of limits are those of human vision. Believe it or not, only a tiny sliver of human vision is actually focused. The rest of it, up to the peripheral vision, is blurry and meant to be that way. It only detects basic motion, but for reading or analyzing fine detail, it has to be focused, and by proxy, limited to the narrow sliver. Seriously, try to focus on everything in the frame of this video right now. Exactly. You can't. You're limited to focusing on either me talking or one of the background items. That's a good thing because the rest of it alerts you to something that doesn't require such refined detail, which is why I say limits are a good thing. Be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Comment your thoughts on this, and subscribe for cultural commentary and rants from a man caught between generations, which are limited to what I can put out on my timetable. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.